Today's gospel repeats the idea from yesterday about disciples not to be afraid of suffering, about mourning, about living the sad times of Jesus gone, when Jesus suffered death and the crucifixion that we just lived recently a few weeks ago. And Jesus tells us to keep the joy because He's alive. Then we live the resurrection. He compares with the pain and the moment and the process that a mom lived through the labor. She has pain, she suffers, but it's a joyful suffering. And we could say, is joy and suffering together? Can they be something that we experience one with the other one? Yes, we can experience a suffering with joy. We can experience the absence of God in our life sometimes, but with the joy when somebody announces us that Jesus is alive, that Jesus is the Lord. And we are called to do that. And we are called to repeat once, twice, 3 times, all the time that we can, that Jesus is alive. Probably Jesus is not telling us that we won't suffer. He's not promising us to have a joyful life. He's promising that we'll receive the joy that no one can take away. Today, in the first reading, we see the experience that Paul lived in Corinth. He moved from Athens, then he goes to Corinth, and he has to tell the world that Jesus is alive among the Jews in those times. God tells him in a dream, Paul, don't be afraid. Do what you have to do. And I tell you today, don't be afraid. Do what you have to do. Announce that Jesus Christ is alive, that Jesus Christ is risen. Probably you will suffer criticism. Probably you will suffer some persecution because you are being a prophet among the darkness. You're being the light that God wants you to be. So we invite you today with this reading, be joyful, don't be afraid, and sing with the world because God is the King of all the earth. And we then can repeat with the responsorial psalm today, all you peoples, clap your hands, shout to God with cries of gladness.